never wanted to be a nurse, actually. I wanted to be a pediatrician. You know, back in the 70s, you really were either going to be a stenographer, a nurse, or a teacher. So I had no clue what a nurse does. As time went on, I fell in love with nursing. On a core level, nursing matches my personality perfectly. You know, it was a hospital nursing school. You work around the clock in the hospitals, and then we had 26.5 credit hours on top of that. So there was no rest. I thought, I'm just going to wait for a while because I've had enough of this nursing thing. So I worked as a cocktail waitress at the Sheraton Lounge for the summer before I became a nurse. And my feet got really tired because they made you wear these heels that were like this high and keep smiling even though you were in terrible pain. But anyways, I got my first job. Here, this is a level 1 trauma center. And it was so exciting. I was only 20 years old when I graduated from school. I loved it. And I saw myself doing that forever, to be honest with you. And that's when I decided I wanted to be a nurse, after I was one. I talk a lot about mentoring in my bio because I believe that it's basically was my calling. I was so fortunate to have some amazing mentors in my career. One of my favorite leaders is John C. Maxwell, and he talks about mentoring, that you know that you've made it to one of the top pinnacles of leadership when the people you have mentored are mentoring others. I would personally take on anywhere from 3 to 5 people personally and help guide their career. Then the mid-level managers were expected to take 1 to 2. Charge nurses and staff nurses were to take 1. And so they would really adopt a person and care about a person and really, really help them to become everything they could be. I love to solve problems, but it's not about me. It's about the team. One little redheaded woman cannot do this alone. This is what I realized, and I call it my model, the Lisa Mestas model of change. It's the implementation, it's the adoption, and it's the sustainability of it. Those 3 things are going to be hardwired so much faster if you just let people come up with their ideas, allow them and empower them to make it happen, and you give them the support they need to get it done and allow them to say, okay, this is working well, and now how can we make it better? I'm telling you, it works like a charm. I hope the legacy that I have left behind is one of highly functional teams who truly care about each other and their patients. I still really care about the patients and the families and their loved ones so deeply. And I think that has guided my career. I had this older man. He was very, very ill. I was running either to the lab or somewhere, and I decided to take the shortcut through the staircase. And sitting on the stairwell was this young boy, 12 years old, and he was crying. And he said, they won't let me in to see my pawpaw. You have to be 16. So I went directly to the cardiologist, and I said, do you believe this man is going to leave this ICU alive? He said, no, I don't. And I said, his 12-year-old grandson is crying out there in the stairwell. Could you write just one order for one time, and I'll stand next to him? And can he come in and just see him and say goodbye? He said, done. And he did it. And I never forgot it, how much it meant to that grandfather. And I know how much it meant to that grandson and the family. And so to me, that is something that I'm very proud of, is that somehow I knew enough to do the right thing. And I think, I tried to set that example as a leader, as a clinician, and, as a mom, as a human being. Just try to do the right thing And whenever you have that opportunity, and you can't go wrong.